What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Tristin. TaZe. Hope you all are having a wonderful, fantastic day. Thank you guys so much for tuning back into the channel for a brand new Call of Duty Modern Warfare video. In today's video, guys, what we're going to be taking a look at are the top 10 best class setups that you guys can use as of right now for Season 4 of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. But before we get into it, guys, if you could please like on the video as well as subscribe to the channel if you guys are brand new. That'd be awesome. Make sure to turn on post notifications, and when I say that, I mean turn on all post notifications so you guys can always see when I post here on the channel. And of course, guys, make sure to go check out all my sponsors and social media down below. That being said, let's take a look at the class setups. So the first one I have, guys, is for the Grav 556 with the Prototype Alpha. Now, I actually have used this class in some of my most recent videos. It is the Monolithic Suppressor, the Tempest 26.4 barrel, the Commando foregrip, 16 round mags, and no stock. Now, the only bad part to this is mobility, and that's just because of having this barrel and so forth. If you guys see right there, that's really the only big problem, is just because of that barrel, you're going to have a little bit of a reduction in mobility, but not too much though. Still do pretty well and everything like that. Now, moving forward, guys, I have the Renetta here and everything. I don't have any attachments on here, even though I probably could, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now, just so you guys can kind of have something for a little bit of a reference. And normally, I'm using Scavenger, Hardline, and Tracker throughout this. I may have some classes with Ghosts on them for perk 2, but I will explain later on. For the lethal, I'm always using Molotov Cocktail and Stun Grenade when it comes down to that. The next one, guys, is my M4 class. This is to mimic the Stem the Tide in some ways. Now, I'm using Muzzle Brake, the Corvus Custom Marksman Barrel, the Commando foregrip, the 32 round para mags, and no stock. Now, the reason I'm using no stock is to help with that mobility and so forth, because as you guys can see, without it, it's going to tank the mobility a lot. The 32 round mags to help with the fire rate, the recoil, and so forth. And of course, it's just going to really help out with accuracy and everything. You do lose a little bit on the damage and range, but still, nonetheless, it is very good for the damage. Then I have the recoil stabilization and aiming stability from having the Commando foregrip on. The Corvus Custom Marksman Barrel to help with the damage, range, bullet velocity, and recoil control, and Muzzle Brake when it comes down to it. So overall, really solid class. Only really negative thing you have is damage and so forth, but if you really care about damage, I'd say maybe look at taking something like the Commando foregrip off, putting FMJ on, but that is just me when it comes down to it. The next one, guys, is the Prototype Omega. I'm using the Monolithic Suppressor, the FSS Strike, Commando foregrip, 60 round mags, and no stock. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot of ways to improve the damage and the range on this gun when it comes down to it, because as you guys can see, there's not really a ton of options. It's just really kind of picking your poison, but still, nonetheless, I really like this gun. It really does a lot and everything when it comes down to the table. Now, moving on to the next one, guys, is the Kilo 141 Retribution, and I actually have this kind of in a way where it's like an SMG, and you guys will see in one of my future videos why this version, instead of a AR with a muzzle and everything else, absolutely slaps. So I'm using the Singard Arms Whisper and everything with the Union Black Gunsmith, Commando foregrip, 16 round mags, rather than the drum that's normally on this gun and so forth. I'm using the GI Mini Reflex and no stock. Now, in terms of things, the only bad thing you guys will see is a negative reduction in control, but still, where at least the control is at a advantage more than everything else on here and so forth. And really, the only part of the control, I believe, really has to come down to with the 60 round mags and so forth, as you guys can see. So moving forward from that, guys, on this one, I'm using the 1911 Riptide, the Monolithic Suppressor, the 1911 Stalker Barrel, Lightweight Trigger, Rubberized Grip Tape, and FMJ. Really nasty class if you're trying to go for just some pistol kills or whatever it may be, and so forth. The next one, guys, is another Prototype Alpha class, this time in a little bit of an SMG format. I'm using the Compensator Muzzle, the 20.8 Nexus Barrel, as you guys can see, the Cronin Shark 2 Underbarrel, 60 round mags, and no stock. Practically, as you guys see on this class, there is no red sections at all. which that is insane for a gun in Modern Warfare because you don't really get a lot of that occasionally and so forth, which is why I chose it and everything this way. Then I'm using the Impossible Task variant of the X16, that being Monolithic Suppressor, Vanguard Elite Barrel, the Lightweight Trigger Action, the Optics Mini Reflex, and FMJ, which again slaps. You know, even though that the mobility and control took a hit, it's still better than everything else on the list, so it doesn't really matter when it comes down to it. On this one though, I am using a flash grenade. I do want to switch that over to a stun grenade though when it comes down to it. The next one, guys, I'm using is the Fanic. I haven't been using this one as much, and probably once I get a little bit better with it, I will let you guys know. But in terms of things right now, I'm using Flash Guard, Merc Foregrip, Viper Reflex, and the Frangible Wounding perk when it comes down to it. I have a couple different camos unlocked for this. I think I'm going to slap on this camo just to be fair and so forth. Moving on to the next one, guys, is P90. This one is one that I don't remember the exact blueprint, but it is something for a video I am going to be making here on the channel. And in terms of things, it's the compensator with the Forged Tack Retribution Barrel, rubberized grip tape, the Pro Optic, and the fly strap. In terms of things, really, really good. The only problem really is not having damage. And if you guys really, really do care about that in terms of things, it really would be just slapping on that and so forth. And that probably would take care of it for the most part when it comes down to it. You really don't need any grip tapes or so forth when it comes down to the P90 though. Moving on to the next one, guys, is the PP19 Bison. I gotta say, I really love this class. Very, very small amount of reduction in mobility. And in terms of things, the class is the Monolithic Suppressor, the 8.7 Steel Barrel, the Corvus Skeleton Stock. I personally would use no stock if you really wanted to, but for the most part, I'm just using this one as it is. FMJ, and then the 84 round Hellcat mags, which practically is the main source of that small little bit of a reduction in mobility. But I think having the 84 round mags is going to help you, especially in impossible situations and so forth. The next one, guys, is the Ram 7. I believe this is for the Corruptor variant and everything. I'm using the 13.5 compact barrel, 50 round mags, the rubberized grip tape, FMJ, and the close quarter stock. Now, in terms of things, you will see a somewhat decent reduction in control and a very small amount in range. I would say that just because of that and everything, you know, in terms of things, this is perfectly fine. If you really wanted to, though, you could probably put on the TAC Eclipse or the Ranger, but this is one that I really like the way it is. For the Renetta on this one, though, I have the same stuff: Flash Guard, the 94 or the 945 Mini Reflex, and Fast Melee when it comes down to this one. And then for the last one, guys, I have is the MP5. I believe this is the MOT variant that I was trying to recreate with the compensator, the auto 30 round mags, the granulated grip tape, FMJ, and F-Tac collapsible stock. The reason I chose this one is because of the damage and range. Sure, you will only get 30 rounds with 10mm high caliber auto, but in terms of things, I think a lot of you guys would prefer this and so forth when it comes down to it. Now, in terms of things for my Killstreaks, I'm using UAV, VTOL, and Chopper Gunner when it comes down to it. Now, as well, guys, having with Hardline, I'm going to be able to get the UAV at 3, the VTOL at 7, and the Chopper Gunner at 9. So in terms of things, it's going to help you out a little bit. And then I'm using Dead Silence when it comes down to that. So hopefully these 10 class setups did give you guys a lot of options. Let me know in the comment section down below which one you guys thought was great. And if there's a class setup that you guys want me to try here on the channel, let me know in the comment section down below, or tweet me on Twitter at TaZe, because that way I can always make sure I'm bringing you guys the best possible content that you guys want to see and everything like that. But with that being said, guys, my name is Tristin, or TaZe, and I will see all of you guys in the next one.